for me, is my idea of consciousness. God is not a thing. It is within everything and outside of everything. So I believe that God is unchanging, is therefore pretty much everything I'm seeing has an element of God, but you couldn't call it God because everything changes. You, me, where we're sitting, this river, this planet has a life cycle, birth, death. But my feeling about God is that it exists beyond that, beyond those laws of nature. It was somehow, it is somehow separate to the laws of time, matter, space. And that's about as close as I've come to any realization of what God is. I don't see God as a bearded chap, although I used to for many years. I was brought up in a Church of England family, went to Sunday school. My father's quite religious. And I remember at the time, in fact, someone saying to me, you know, most of you who are here at church, by the time you're 21, 22, will fall away from this. And it's a sad fact, but very few will stay on that narrow path. And I remember thinking, there's no way I'll be one of those. There's no way. I'm not going to fall away. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be one of those. And I have. But funnily enough, I probably feel like the path to discovering why we're here, who we are, what it's all about, is truly a narrow path. I don't think many people follow it. But around 14 or 15 was when I thought my father's idea and this church's idea of what God is just doesn't make sense. How can only 5% of the world be admitted into heaven under these laws? Why is it that they're largely wealthy white people are the only people sort of heading there? There's too many questions unanswered, and every time you put forward, when I was 15, say, or 16, every time I put forward the question, it would either come back to me as, well, the Bible says, or have faith. You just have to have faith. And so around about that age, I thought, it's not good enough for me. The idea of just have faith. If I have a question, I should feel sated. I do believe there is an element of faith to life. There's an element of God is unexplainable. It is a concept. No one can actually say it because it's beyond words. It's an experience. God is an experience. I meditate. I was introduced to meditation about 15 years ago, and I meditate twice a day. And if I ever feel close to knowing what God is, it's somewhere in the boundary of that half-hour period, twice a day when I meditate. I think the basic idea of the meditation I do is to quieten the mind, to just let all that instrument calm down. And I sometimes have experiences where I feel a little out of body, a little time. Ideas of Hugh Jackman as a father, as an actor, all those roles we play just seem to melt away. And somewhere in there is where I have some glimmer, some glimpse at what God is. And it's a feeling. And it's blissful. And it can go like that, and every minute you try and grab onto it, it's gone. But twice a day for half an hour, I can dip into what I call that gold, that the substance of what is God, and just bathe in it. It's a different experience every time, but I get glimpses of something that energizes me on such a deep level that I'm not sure exactly what I'd do without that form of prayer. It's a way to be in touch with who I really am. Much of our life, our experience of this body, of being in this creation, is of duality. The world exists in this duality, but in fact, God exists beyond that. As a child, God was very much me wrapped up in good and evil, God and the devil. And for many years I thought everything that was good was God and that everything was bad was the devil. And I suppose now my understanding of it is that it's neither and both at the same time. There's something beyond that. The experience of God is restful. It's, I feel, rejuvenating. I think modern day life, I often feel quite tired and quite run down. I wrestle with this all the time. Is there a way that you can experience God when everything's crap in your life? Little things. I try and do this every day. I know you probably think I'm weird, but I will, at the end of a shower, always turn on cold as a little reminder that that's not going to affect who I am. The experience of being warm, pleasurable in a hot shower, it's just an idea that that's better. Fear is something that is, I think, the greatest disease of modern times. I mean, stress, people call it stress, but it's just fear. It's just as adults, it seems no one wants to say I'm scared. I'm scared that I'm not going to do well at my job. They go, I'm so stressed, I've got such a busy day, you know. It may all sound too neat, but I truly believe there is a way to find the Garden of Eden here, in this life, wherever you are. You don't have to go to the top of a mountain to do it. I'm born in Sydney, and I think you can find it in a suburb of Sydney. I think it's totally your interpretation of life, the way you live it. And I think I fully believe that paradise is available. And I say that only because I feel like I've had a few moments of experiencing it. Sometimes in meditation, I've had a few moments on stage, some moments in relationships.
What about hell? What is your definition of hell?
I do think that you can get so far away from the laws of nature, that the experience of life is hell. It must be. I haven't done it or been close to doing it, but people take their life. I think they must be in hell, for there to be no other option than to end it, for it to be unbearable to that point. Then I believe that hell must exist. They must feel so absent from any feeling of peace, truth, bliss. Not only that they don't experience it now, but that they never will, that they end their life. There must be hell on earth. That must be the definition of hell.